So now we're going to start doing some bow construction. I'll do each of these videos separately so that if you need to start over and do them again, you can watch along and you'll be able to check out what's giving you trouble as opposed to having to go through the whole video and look at everything over and over again. So I'm going to teach you 4 different kinds of bows. And then what we'll do is we'll be using all these bows to put together to make a 5-flower corsage once we're done practicing. We'll take the rest of your mini carnations and we'll pierce wire them with a little bit of baby's breath and a little bit of leather leaf. And we'll utilize all these bows that we're making and we'll put them together into one big, beautiful, luscious corsage. And again, these are basic skills that you'll have that then when you decide to do your own work and design your own products for your customers, that's just your jumping off point. You have the basic skills and then the design piece becomes what you want to create. Okay, so the first bow that we're going to do is called the top bow. One of the things I want you to remember is that this is called the bolt. And the ribbon that I gave you should have one side that feels a little bit rough and one side that feels a little bit smoother. It's not a huge difference, but if you feel it with your fingers, you should be able to tell the difference. The other thing is don't ever cut the ribbon unless I tell you to. Sometimes as you're making these bows, I'll say cut the ribbon, do this, cut the ribbon, or cut the ribbon first. It's really important not to cut the ribbon before that step comes along in that bow making process because you may or may not have too much ribbon or too little ribbon. It's just something that I've learned over time. The instruction of cut the ribbon is a really useful one. So, okay. So we're going to talk about holding the ribbon with the shiny side up. So this is the shinier side. This is that little rougher side. And yes, I've been painting in my kitchen. That's why you see all this stuff all over my fingers. You're going to want to have a good pair of scissors. Hopefully you guys have a good pair of scissors in your house that you can use that'll cut things. This is why we have the no plant scissors in my desk drawer so that we can cut things pretty easily. If we were using those gunky plant scissors, it would just like mush and hack up our ribbon. One of the other things I should have told you in my ribbon video, but I'll show you now, is whenever we cut a ribbon, we always cut it either diagonally or we cut it as a point. We fold it in half and cut it as a point end like this. Or we fold it in half and cut it from the outside in and make a notch. And that's called finishing your ribbon. And you always want to do that in your bow making because if you don't, if you just leave the ribbon as it comes off the bolt like this, it will get frayed and raggedy looking. And it happens more quickly than you would think. And it really takes away from your arrangement if you have a raggedy piece of ribbon. So remember to finish your ends. I should have put that in the ribbon video, but now you've got it. So you can do it from here. Okay, so we are going to take the shiny side of our ribbon, and you've got to have your floral wire ready. You want to have some of your thinner pieces, either your 24 or your 26 should work for this. And I'm going to we're going to use a couple of different wiring techniques as we're making our bows. Some of it will sound familiar from when we did our wiring of our flowers the other day. So you're going to hold the ribbon with the shiny side up between your thumb and forefinger, and you're going to cut a nice diagonal edge. This is called top bow. You're going to unroll some ribbon and you're going to hold it between your thumb and forefinger and you're going to make a loop that comes up just underneath your little point. Then you're going to make a second loop in the same way that's going to be a tiny bit shorter than the first loop and come right under it like that. Isn't that adorable? Now, I'm pinching this between my thumb and forefinger, and now I'm going to cut my ribbon. Haven't cut it yet. Remember, we don't cut it until that's the proper step. So now I'm going to take my floral wire, and this is going to be a clutch wire. Remember when we clutch wired our flowers? So I'm going to make that 90-degree angle with my wire. I'm going to put it underneath my thumb and forefinger on top of my ribbon. and I'm gonna clutch it. So I'm gonna come around just one time, and I'm going to, whoops, lost my bow. I'm going to pinch my ribbon together a little bit when I do it so that the wire, see how tight that is? See how it's pinched right together? That's how you want it to be. You don't want this to still be flat and open. You want it pinched right together. And you only really have to do that twice, once and then one more time to keep it nice and firm. Now that doesn't look super attractive because you can see my mechanics there, so what do you think we should do to that? We're gonna tape it and cover those mechanics. But see how tightly together that is? Sometimes, I'll just quickly show you a mistake that students make a lot. I'll make another one here really quickly, and I'll show you a mistake that students make. My fingers are a little fumbly today, sorry about that. Students will make a mistake where they take their wire and they don't pull it tight enough. They just come around like this. See how that's still flat there? They come around a bunch of times and they get a whole bunch of stuff and it's all flat like that. That's not what you want. You want it to be pinched right together like that. It's really important to squish that. It's going to make your bow look nicer, and then it's going to be a lot more secure. And when it's tight like that, you really only need to come around twice. So once I come around twice, I'm going to cover my mechanics and I'm going to tape this down. And there's my top bow. There's your first one. So this is going to go on the top of our corsage. This is our top bow.